Every entrepreneur begins with a dream. A dream of owning a small business. Something meaningful. Something they could build with pride and enjoy for years to come. They picture financial freedom. They imagine waking up to income they've earned while they sleep. They dream of controlling their own schedule instead of answering to someone else. But reality often tells a very different story. Take a man named Styx. He launched a small printing company believing it would give him freedom. Instead, the business slowly took control of his life. Every morning started before sunrise, and every night ended long after everyone else had gone home. He handled sales calls, printed customer orders, answered questions, managed complaints, delivered products, and took care of every task imaginable. He wasn't leading a business. He had become the business itself. Day after day, the pressure grew heavier until one afternoon he stood in the middle of his shop, looked around, and realized something that completely changed his perspective. If I don't show up tomorrow, this entire business shuts down. That moment hit him hard. He finally understood the truth. He didn't actually own a business. He had simply created another job for himself. And millions of entrepreneurs are trapped in exactly the same situation today. But here's the part that makes this story extraordinary. Just 6 months later, Styx walked back into that very same shop, and everything was operating perfectly without him. Orders were being completed. Customers were being served. The team knew exactly what to do. The business continued making money while he simply observed. How did he transform from being the business to owning the business? That answer could completely change the way you think about entrepreneurship. So stay with me until the end, because the lesson that transformed Styx's life has the power to transform yours as well. We'll return to his story shortly, but first, we need to understand why so many businesses never reach this point. Why do most businesses fail? The answer surprises many people. Most entrepreneurs start a business because they possess a valuable skill. Some know how to cook incredible meals. Some are talented designers. Others can write software, bake delicious cakes, repair machines, cut hair, or create beautiful clothing. Their skill is real. Their passion is genuine. But here's the problem. A skill alone does not create a successful business. Systems do. Michael Gerber, the best-selling author of the Myth Revisited, explains this perfectly. He says that most people never truly build businesses. Instead, they simply commercialize their personal skills. A talented chef opens a restaurant. A barber opens a salon. A tailor launches a fashion store. A graphic designer starts an agency. From the outside, it looks like they've become business owners. But in reality, they've built something entirely different. They've built a prison. The business depends completely on their personal effort. Every customer needs them. Every decision requires them. Every problem lands on their desk. And the moment they stop working, everything stops. This dependency is one of the biggest reasons small businesses struggle or eventually fail. According to Gerber, every successful business owner must learn to balance 3 different roles. The first is the technician. This is the person who performs the actual work. The technician cooks the food, cuts the hair, designs the logo, writes the code, repairs the equipment, prints the orders, builds the product, cleans the workspace, creates the service. For a long time, Styx lived entirely in this role. The second role is the manager. The manager creates organization. This person develops schedules, monitors finances, improves workflows, keeps records, and makes sure every part of the business operates efficiently. The manager brings order where chaos once existed. The third role is the entrepreneur. This person is the visionary. The entrepreneur isn't focused only on today's work. They're thinking about tomorrow, next year, and the next 5 years. They constantly ask questions like, where is this business headed? How can it grow? What systems need to be built so it can succeed without depending on me? Most business owners never move beyond the technician mindset. They spend every day working inside the business, instead of working on the business. And because of that, their company can never operate independently. If you truly want to build a business that functions without your constant presence, you must gradually evolve. First from the technician, then into the manager, and finally into the entrepreneur. This isn't just theory. Some of the world's most successful business leaders have built their entire careers around this principle. Jeff Bezos has emphasized the importance of creating reliable systems, trusting those systems, and allowing them to run the business consistently. Ray Kroc, the man who transformed McDonald's into a global empire, famously believed that you don't build a successful business. First, you build a system, and then that system builds the business. Even Warren Buffett follows the same philosophy. He prefers investing in companies that are capable of operating successfully, even when the founder is no longer involved. Because a truly valuable business doesn't rely on one person. It relies on systems that continue delivering results, day after day, whether the owner is present or not. Elon Musk once shared a simple but powerful idea. If your company cannot function without you, then you don't truly own a company. Think about that for a moment. The world's most successful entrepreneurs all repeat the same lesson in different ways. The owner should never be the most important system in the business. Because if removing the owner causes everything to collapse, then it was never a real business. It was simply another full-time job disguised as one. So what keeps most businesses from growing? Let's go back to Styx. He dreamed of attracting more customers. He wanted higher profits. He wanted the freedom that inspired him to start the business in the first place. But no matter how hard he worked, growth always seemed out of reach. Why? Because every part of the business depended on him. He couldn't confidently hire employees. He couldn't properly train new staff. He couldn't even take a few days off without worrying that everything would fall apart. The reason was simple. All the knowledge existed only inside his mind. Nothing was documented. Nothing was organized. There were no systems. No written processes. No clear instructions. No structure that someone else could follow. This is where countless small businesses reach their limit. They don't fail because their products are poor. They fail because they've grown beyond what one person can realistically manage. Growth exposes every weakness in a business. And the biggest weakness is believing you can continue doing everything alone. This brings us to one of the most valuable lessons from the E-Myth Revisited. Think like a franchise. Even if you have absolutely no intention of opening multiple locations, build your business as though one day you could. That's what franchise thinking is all about. Every task has a clear process. Every employee follows the same instructions. Every customer receives a consistent experience. Every result is predictable. Anyone can learn the system. Anyone can repeat it successfully. This is exactly why McDonald's became one of the most successful businesses in history. It's not because they serve the world's greatest hamburgers. It's because they've created a system that works almost anywhere. Employees come and go. Managers change. Owners change. Yet the business keeps operating with remarkable consistency. The goal isn't to create perfection. The goal is to create repetition. If your success depends entirely on one extraordinary person, your business will always remain fragile. Many entrepreneurs believe nobody can do the work as well as they can. That mindset keeps businesses trapped. Real growth begins when the owner stops trying to control everything personally. The third stage is maturity. This is where every entrepreneur hopes to arrive. The business no longer depends on one individual. It operates through clear systems, established rules, reliable processes, capable employees, strong managers, automation where possible, consistent execution every single day. The owner's role changes completely. Instead of working inside the business, they oversee it from above. They guide the vision instead of handling every task. That is what true business freedom looks like. Now let's explore the 7 blueprints that make a business capable of running without its owner. These are the foundations every entrepreneur should build. The first blueprint is creating systems for everything. A system is simply a repeatable step-by-step method for completing a task. Many entrepreneurs believe nobody can do the work as well as they can. That mindset keeps businesses trapped. Real growth begins when the owner stops trying to control everything personally. The third stage is maturity. This is where every entrepreneur hopes to arrive. The business no longer depends on one individual. It operates through clear systems, established rules, reliable processes, capable employees, strong managers, automation where possible, consistent execution every single day. The owner's role changes completely. Instead of working inside the business, they oversee it from above. They guide the vision instead of handling every task. That is what true business freedom looks like. Now let's explore the 7 blueprints that make a business capable of running without its owner. These are the foundations every entrepreneur should build. The first blueprint is creating systems for everything. A system is simply a repeatable step-by-step method for completing a task. Every important activity in your business should have one. Customer service, marketing, daily operations, sales, product delivery, quality control, financial management, employee onboarding, staff training. Nothing should depend on memory alone. Document every process, improve it over time, test it, refine it. Because if a process isn't written down, it effectively doesn't exist. The second blueprint is developing standard operating procedures, commonly known as SOPs, and SOP explains exactly how a specific task should be completed from beginning to end. It eliminates uncertainty, reduces costly mistakes, creates consistency, and makes training new employees much faster and easier. Every routine activity should have its own SOP. Opening the business each morning, closing at the end of the day, handling customer complaints professionally, launching marketing campaigns, managing cash and finances, packaging products correctly, following every workflow step in the proper order. One reason McDonald's can prepare new employees so quickly is because every task has already been simplified, documented, and standardized. Nobody has to guess what comes next. They simply follow the system. The third blueprint is learning to delegate without fear. This is where many business owners get stuck. They convince themselves that nobody else can do the work properly. They think, they'll only make mistakes. I can do it better. It'll take less time if I just handle it myself. That way of thinking feels productive. But in reality, it prevents growth. A business can never expand if every important task depends on one person. Start small. Hire carefully. Delegate one responsibility at a time. Teach people the right way to do the job. Give them the tools to succeed. Trust them enough to take ownership. And remember this principle. Don't spend all your time supervising people. Build systems that guide people. Then supervise those systems instead. The fourth blueprint is building a team instead of simply collecting helpers. There's a huge difference. Helpers wait for your instructions. A true team follows established systems. Every person should have a clearly defined role: an administrative assistant, a sales representative, an operations manager, an accountant, a marketing specialist, a customer support representative. Each position should come with specific responsibilities, clear expectations, proper training, and measurable results. When everyone understands exactly what they're responsible for, the business no longer revolves around you. It begins operating on its own. The fifth blueprint is creating automated financial systems. Your cash flow should never rely on your daily presence. The more financial tasks you automate, the more stable your business becomes. Automate payment collection, invoice generation, payment reminders, online banking, subscription billing, employee payroll, expense tracking. When your finances are organized through reliable systems, your business becomes more predictable and far easier to manage. The sixth blueprint is building a powerful brand. A strong brand continues attracting customers even when you're nowhere to be found. Because a brand is much more than a logo or a company name. A brand represents trust, consistency, identity, a clear message, and a promise that customers believe in. When people trust your brand, they don't need to see you personally. They're buying confidence in the business itself. And finally, the seventh blueprint is building a business that's valuable enough to sell. Even if you have no intention of selling it, build it as though someone else could purchase it tomorrow. That means creating organized operations, a profitable business model, reliable and predictable revenue, documented systems, a well-trained team, healthy cash flow, and processes that continue working without constant supervision. Because a business that someone else is willing to buy is usually a business that no longer depends on its owner. Now, let's return to Styx. He took everything he had learned and decided to rebuild his business from the inside out. He documented every important process, step by step, task by task. He hired his first assistant, then another employee. Eventually, he brought in a manager. Instead of relying on memory, he trained every new team member using detailed standard operating procedures. He developed consistent workflows, automated payment systems, strengthened his brand, delegated both marketing and day-to-day operations. Slowly, everything began changing. 6 months later, Styx walked through the doors of his printing shop and witnessed something he once believed was impossible. The business was running perfectly, without him. Orders continued arriving. Customers were smiling. Employees handled their responsibilities with confidence. The business kept growing. The brand became stronger. And for the first time since opening his company, Styx experienced the freedom he had always dreamed of. He finally understood the difference between owning a job and owning a business. He didn't build success through working harder. He built it by creating better systems. Because in the end, it wasn't Styx who carried the business. The system carried it. If you truly want a business that can thrive without your constant involvement, you must stop thinking like an employee inside your own company. Start thinking like an architect. Design your structure. Design your processes. Design your systems. Design the future you want your business to have. Because a real business isn't measured by how hard the owner works. A real business is measured by how well it continues to grow, even when the owner isn't there. If you found value in this video, subscribe and share it with someone who's working hard to build a business, but is still trapped inside it.